Hello students, today in this video of ours, we are going to learn about the microbes in human welfare. Microbes are very friendly to us. They are pathogens as well. We have seen their harmful effects, but that doesn't mean that they are not useful. In many ways, they are very useful to us, and we cannot think about our survival in their absence because they are the one who are keeping things clean. They are the one who are helping us in many activities. They are the one who are fixing nitrogen for the plants. They are the one who are cleaning our surroundings. They are the one who are helping in our household items, preparation of our household items such as idli, dosa, all fermented items, curd, and they are the one who are helping in production of many useful industrial things in the industries, and these things are very useful for us in day-to-day life. So, in this chapter of ours, microbes in human welfare, we are going to learn about the uses of microbes in the welfare of human being, how they are helping us and how they are helping in the welfare of the human being. So, first of all, let's see how microbes are helping in the household and industrial applications. Household means in our house, in our day-to-day life, in our house, there are many microbes which are friendly to us and which are helping us in production of many useful things. First of all, lactic acid bacteria. We are familiar with this bacteria because every day we are having curd in our meals, and curd is very nutritious. We all should have curd with our meals. So this, the bacteria which is responsible for the production of curd is lactic acid bacteria, and this bacteria is also called lab. So the milk is getting converted into curd in the presence of lab. Now this lab, what is it doing? This is producing acids which coagulate and partially digest the milk proteins. Oh, how do you set the curd? You should ask your mother, and you all must be knowing that in a milk, we have to keep the milk at the right temperature because the temperature should be right for the bacteria to grow. If it is very cold, the bacteria will not be able to grow, and if it is very hot, the bacteria will die in that. So the bacteria, the temperature should be right at the room temperature, slightly warm for the bacteria to grow, multiply. And the small amount of curd we put in the milk, and that is called inoculum. So small amount of curd that is added to the milk for curdling acts as an inoculum. It is called the inoculum, which we put in the milk, and this 1 teaspoon of this inoculum is containing thousands of lactic acid bacteria, and they will further multiply in the right kind of temperature of the milk. So what will happen? They will grow and ultimately they will convert milk into curd by the coagulation process. So now this lactic acid bacteria, it enhances the nutritional value of milk by increasing vitamin B12. So many of you must be knowing, and many of you must not be knowing, that curd is more nutritive, has got more nutritive value than milk, because in curd you will find increased amount of vitamin B12, which is because of the lactic acid bacteria. And lactic acid bacteria, when it is present in the stomach, it prevents many infections. So it helps in the digestion process, it prevents any infections in the stomach. So it is very good to have curd with your meals, and you should include curd in your meals. So this was about the lactic acid bacteria, which is lactobacillus. Now the second household activity by which the microbes are helping us is fermentation. That is also our day-to-day routine affair. We have idlis, we have dosas, we have cakes, we have pastries, then we have pakoras, then we have all confectionery items. So all these things, they are made by fermentation, and this fermentation is done by the microbes. So dosas and idli dough is fermented by bacteria, and this dough is, that is swollen up, puffed up appearance of this dough after some time is because of the carbon dioxide gas. So if you keep the batter of dosa and idli, and you have to keep it for overnight, you ask your mother, or you must have seen your mother keeping the dough for dosa and idli, mixing rice and pulse together and beating it and mixing it and keeping it for overnight. So for overnight, we are keeping it to let it ferment. So in the morning, you will see that the dough has risen. The layer of the upper surface of the dough risen because of the presence of carbon dioxide gas. So this is fermentation. And dough used for making breads is fermented by baker's yeast. There is a common name for this yeast, which is called baker's yeast, because this yeast is used in all the bakery items for breads, for cakes. So this is called this is actually Saccharomyces cerevisiae, and this Saccharomyces cerevisiae is the yeast which is helping in the fermentation of the dough for the breads, for all confectionery items. So this is commonly called baker's yeast. Then there is one South Indian drink also, which is called toddy. And this toddy is also made by fermentation, fermenting the sap. They take the sap from the palm tree and then ferment it. And then it becomes a drink, very nutritious drink, which is called toddy. Now, this fermentation also increases the nutritive value of the food. Now, the third thing is cheese making. In cheese also, you must have seen there are varieties of cheese available in the market, and these cheese, they depend on what which microbe and on what thing it has been acted to produce the cheese. So the bacterium Propionibacterium shermani, this is used in Swiss cheese. And you must have seen this Tom and Jerry cartoons. So in that, you see the cheese with the Tom is always after that cheese. It is having holes in it. So these holes which are present, and the characteristic holes which are present in the Swiss cheese, is because of this bacterium. This bacterium, Propionibacterium shermani, is producing this kind of cheese, which is called Swiss cheese, and this is having a characteristic holes in it because of the production of large amount of carbon dioxide gas. Then another cheese is Roquefort cheese, which is also very popular, and it is ripened by growing certain fungi on them to give them specific flavor. So variety of cheese are there. If you go into the if you go to UK, and there are in villages, you will find every second or every third house is the producing cheese with the help of these microbes, and you will find variety of cheese, variety of flavors, because of the different microbes. So these microbes, they are helping in the production of cheese, and cheese is also having very good nutritive value. So these were the household applications of the microorganism. Another application is in the industries, because every day the industries are using lot of acids, they are using lot of enzymes, they are using lot of alcohols, they are using lot of chemicals which are produced by the microbes. And the more important is antibiotics. The antibiotics which we are taking are also made from the microbes. So for industrial purposes, microbes are grown in large vessels. Normally, in our household things, we just put a little bit of inoculum and the microbe grow in it. We put the yeast powder and we can make the bread. We can put 1 teaspoon inoculum of curd and we can make curd out of it. But for the industrial purposes, when we need the product for the commercial use, we need it in a large quantity. So for large quantity, we need a large vessels where the microbes can be grown. So for industrial purposes, microbes are grown in large vessels, and these large vessels are these fermenters. These are the fermenters. These are called fermenters, and in these the microbes are grown. Now, on industrial scale, fermented beverages. What are fermented beverages? Wine, beer, alcohol, rum. All these fermented beverages are there. Antibiotics, then enzymes, and other bioactive molecules are also prepared by using microbes. Now, all these things are prepared in the industry for commercial use. Now, first of all, we'll see fermented beverages. Now, fermented beverages also are using the mm, brewer's yeast, baker's yeast, which is Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Now, this Saccharomyces cerevisiae is called brewer's yeast. It is also called baker's yeast, and it is used to prepare wine, beer, whiskey, brandy, rum. These are all alcoholic beverages, and they depending upon the what is the raw material which is being used and how the processing is done. So these different kind of alcoholic beverages are produced by using this yeast. Now, if fermented broth is distilled, if the distillation process is done on the fermented broth. What is broth? Broth is the liquid which is having the microbe and the raw material together. So when this fermented broth is distilled, then you can produce brandy and rum. And if they are not distilled without distillation, then you can produce wine and beer. So brandy and rum are produced by when distillating this fermented broth, and wine and beer are produced when distillation is not done. So it depends on whether the distillation is done or not, the kind of the alcoholic beverage which we get. Another very important industrial product is antibiotics, which we always take. Whenever we are having fever, we go to the doctor, doctor prescribe us antibiotic. What is anti? Anti is against, and biotic means living organism. So it is the medicine which is against the living organism. But the wonderful thing is, and very surprisingly, this antibiotic is made from living things only. So certain microorganisms, they only are inhibiting the growth of other microorganisms wherever they grow. That means suppose one particular microorganism is growing in at one place, and it will inhibit the growth of the other microbe. So that means it is acting as an antibiotic for that other microorganism. So this is how the antibiotics are produced. Now, antibiotics are the chemical substances which are produced by certain microbes that kill or retard the growth of other microbes. Now, these other microbes are disease causing, they are pathogens. So that's why we take antibiotic when we fall ill. When we have any kind of infection, we take antibiotic. Now, it was, first of all, it was discovered by Alexander Fleming, and it was by accident. Incidentally, what happened? The Alexander Fleming was working on bacterium Staphylococcus, and he saw that at one stage the growth of the bacterium stopped. The bacteria was not, the culture was not been able to make, the bacteria was not able to grow, and then he discovered that it was because of the growth of other microorganisms, that is Penicillium notatum. So penicillin was discovered by Alexander Fleming. It was the first antibiotic to be discovered, and Fleming discovered it by chance when he was working on the bacterium Staphylococcus, and he discovered that growth of Staphylococcus ceases. Ceases means stopped in the culture plates where Penicillium notatum was grown. So that means Penicillium notatum was the organism which was inhibiting the growth of Staphylococcus bacterium. And later on, its use as an effective antibiotic was established by Ernest Chain and Howard Florey. So this Alexander Fleming, Ernest Chain, and Howard Florey, they all got Nobel Prize in 1945 for this. And this penicillin, which was made, the antibiotic which was made, it was used in large quantities in World War II for the soldiers. So this was the first antibiotic which was made, which was discovered by chance by Alexander Fleming. Now we will see what are the other chemicals, what are the other things which are being produced by the microorganisms. Now, organic acids. Organic acids are the raw materials for many other commercial products. So these organic acids are produced by the microorganisms and the fungus. For example, the fungus Aspergillus niger. This is the fungus which produces citric acid. Now, citric acid is used in many commercial products. Then there is bacterium Acetobacter aceti. This produces acetic acid. Acetic acid. It is vinegar. So that is also used in many commercial products. Then there is bacterium Clostridium butylicum, and this bacterium is producing butyric acid. Then bacterium lactobacillus, this is producing lactic acid. So all these are organic acids which are used for many other commercial products. Citric acid, acetic acid, butyric acid, lactic acid, and they all are being produced by these microorganisms. Then yeast. Yeast is Saccharomyces cerevisiae, this baker's yeast, or we saw, which is used in the production of bread and other confectionery on items, is also producing ethanol. Because in fermentation, what is happening? Fermentation is incomplete oxidation. And when incomplete oxidation is taking place, the ethanol and the carbon dioxide, these are the end products. So ethanol is produced by this yeast, Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Then there is bacterium Streptococcus. Now this bacterium is producing streptokinase. Now this streptokinase is used as a as a clot buster. What is clot? In case of cardiovascular diseases, when there is myocardial cardial infractions, there is blockages in the blood vessels, and these blockages are because of the blood clots. So these blood clots can be removed from the blood vessels of the patients with the help of streptokinase. And this streptokinase is a clot buster which is produced by bacterium streptococcus. So here we can see the use of microorganisms in the medical field, where the patients which are having clots in their blood vessels, which are having heart attacks or other cardiovascular problems because of the blockages in their heart vessel, in their blood vessels, they can use this streptokinase as a clot buster. So this is one product from this bacterium Streptococcus. Now another product is from the fungus Trichoderma polysporum. Now this Trichoderma polysporum is producing cyclosporin A. Now cyclosporin A is immune suppressive agent. Now if you remember, when we were doing immunity, in cell mediated immunity, we saw that the body rejects any foreign material. If there is any organ transplantation, the body rejects it. The body does not accept the new organ or the new foreign particle in the body. So this is because of the cell mediated immunity. But when there are because organ transplantation are required in many cases. So whenever the organ transplantation is taking place, the doctors, they are using immunity suppressive agents so that they can suppress the immunity. And these patients, those who have gone for organ transplantation, they have to be on immunosuppressant medicines for lifelong. So this is cyclosporin is one of the immune suppressive agent which is formed by the fungus Trichoderma polysporum. So this is another product which is very useful in the field of medical field. Then there is one another product which is produced by the yeast Monascus purpureus. This yeast Monascus purpureus is producing statin. Now, what are statins doing? Statins are lowering the blood cholesterol levels. Now, this statin, they are produced by genetic engineering, and they are attacking the enzymes which are producing cholesterol. So the patients who are having high blood cholesterol levels, because high blood cholesterol level leads to these persons are more susceptible for the cardiovascular diseases. So the blood cholesterol level can be reduced by using statins. And this product is produced by the yeast Monascus purpureus. So this is these are the industrial applications of the microbes where they are helping in production of many kinds of chemicals which are further used for various fields and for various items which are used for various other fields. So this was all about the household and the industrial use of microbes.